Hi, we're Quaint and Curious Volumes. My name is James. I have been tagged by the great Randy Ray, the literate Texan, for a new tag that he has created, and it is called the Spring into Adventure tag for Tag Tuesday. So it's 10 prompts that relate to adventure reading, real life adventure games. So, since I'm so happy to see Randy Ray back on BookTube, I decided to take him up on this, and I'm going to do this tag. So, prompt number 1. What's your favorite adventure book? Well, at the guarantee of being extremely pretentious, I'm going to say Moby Dick, or The Whale by Herman Melville. It's an adventure for you. What's the newest, most recently published adventure book you've read? What I wrote down is No One Left to Come Looking for You by Sam Lipsyte. I don't know if that really counts. It's a bit of a mystery, but it's really an adventure. It's set on the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the 1990s among very unsuccessful punk rock musicians. It's a time, place, milieu that I have some familiarity with. Not a lot, but I was one of those people for a while. And, well, without being a spoiler, the lead singer of the main character's band disappears one night. So he's trying to find him. What's the oldest, earliest published adventure book you've read? So again, I'm going to be pretentious and say Gilgamesh. I don't know if it counts as having been published, since it was just like carved onto clay tablets that then got lost for thousands of years. That's a kind of publication, not what we think of these days. But anyway, maybe the Iliad, which I don't know how that was published either, but maybe the Aeneid. That's an adventure. Certainly, and that would have been published in ancient Rome. They had a publishing industry, I'm told. So so maybe it's one of those crusty old classics. Okay, who's your favorite adventure book author? Now, as you may have gathered, I don't read a lot of genre adventure books. Not because I have any problem with them. It just doesn't. They're not what I. Okay, maybe I don't really call myself a mood reader. I never seem to be in the mood for them. So I'm gonna say probably the one that I've read the most is Arthur Conan Doyle, because I've read like 3 or 4 volumes of Sherlock Holmes novels and stories. And I haven't read that many of any other adventure writer. Not Patrick O'Brien, not Forrester, not Lee Childs. I got a copy of a Jack Reacher novel, doesn't matter which one, out of a little free library or a thrift store. And I said, a lot of people like this. Let me get it in case someday I'm in the mood for it. It sat on my shelf for a year and a half, and I mean, I've got lots of things that sit on my shelf for a long time, but I just never felt myself in the mood for it. Same with, I had a copy of The Hunger Games. I'm like, a lot of people like that. Maybe I'll just put it on the shelf for when I'm ready to read something like this. I just haven't felt ready to read something like that. So, I don't know. What's your favorite film adaptation of an adventure book? So, I haven't read this book, but I love the movie Master and Commander Far Side of the World. So I'm going to say that. That's a great movie. I wish they'd made, 10 more of them. Let's see. Who's your favorite adventure book character? I say George Washington Hayduke from Edward Abbey's The Monkey Wrench Gang. He's a Vietnam vet who gets involved in eco-terrorism in the 1970s. Do you prefer fiction or nonfiction adventure books? I generally read more fiction than nonfiction, so I'll say fiction. But again, like I said, I'm being such a disappointment to Randy Ray in this tag because I don't read a lot of adventure books. Anyway, but yeah. Do you consider yourself adventurous? Why or why not? I think I used to be more adventurous, but now I hardly ever travel anywhere. You know, when I was younger and first getting interested in old time music, you know, and I lived in New York, it seemed pretty adventurous to me to get in a car and drive to Virginia or North Carolina and go camping and meet people from the same country but a very different culture and learn music by ear and things like that. That seemed pretty adventurous to me. I used to do more camping and hiking type things, you know, nothing that would get me into a, you know, outside magazine story. But yeah, I used to like to hike and climb mountains and such. I don't travel very far. I can't leave my little dog Louise alone for that long. She misses me. I miss her too. Okay. What's your favorite genre to combine with the adventure genre? I don't have an answer for this. So, okay, here I do have an answer for the next one. Do you play or have you ever played adventure-themed games? Video games, board games, tabletop RPGs, etc. And yes. Growing up in the 80s, I played Dungeons and Dragons. Tabletop RPG, as they say now, but it was Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D then. And that would have been 2nd edition, as they call it now, or advanced D&D, with all the weird arbitrary rules, and you know, like orcs could only get 4 levels of cleric and things like that, which I kind of like and appreciate. So then in the 90s, Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 came out, and those were based on that series of video games and those rules. So that was kind of second nature to me, and I loved playing those games. And don't play a lot of video games now, but I guess it was probably almost 10 years ago that Pillars of Eternity came out, which is very similar to the original Baldur's Gate games 1 and 2, and I loved that too, the Pillars of Eternity games, and also the sequel to Pillars of Eternity. So yeah, those sorts of building your character, gathering your party before venturing forth and going and fighting gnolls and gnomes, and well, you don't really fight gnomes that often, but orcs and such. Yeah, I have a soft spot for it. I don't have the time to sink into those games anymore. I've got to read Ibsen and Hawthorne. I've got important work to do, my friends. So, anyway, that's my attempt at the Spring into Adventure tag created by Randy Ray. Good to see you back, Randy Ray. Thanks for watching. Ooh, oh, hold on. I didn't tag the people I was going to tag, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to tag Book Chat with Pat, because she always tags me, and she's got a great channel if you don't watch it already. I'm going to tag Jess Book Girl TV from Long Island. And I'm going to tag Those Book People, who are a couple that have a new channel. I talked about their issues with fake books a couple of weeks ago. So check them out. And that is my version of this tag. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.